Hey guys, this is DFD, aka Dark Frozen Depths, back with another Kamihime project video. This is a quick little update video about some of the stuff that's been changed or added into the game because there's a few things. But before I even get into it, first off, I've checked the results for everybody that did the voting for the community tab. So on that note, I will be doing live streams of some games, possibly even this one if I learn how to do OBS. I just have to play the safer work side. But I'm not exactly sure if I will stream to Twitch because I do have a Twitch account. It's just that I would need mods and all that type of stuff. But I will still stream to YouTube though, at least, because I know I've done it before with some stuff off my PlayStation 4, so you can definitely expect those. But I'll give you guys an update on when that will happen, so look forward to it. And the games I do have right now that I could stream, like I said, Hyperdimension Neptunia, which is Victory 2, the sequel to Victory. I have Final Fantasy X. I got the Crash Trilogy. I got Kingdom Hearts 3. If I stream Dynasty Warriors, Koei is kind of weird about that because there wouldn't be any sound. So I would need a capture card, or maybe I'd have a workaround being able to do it off of my having something that off my laptop. There's some little PlayStation thing that can redirect their stuff to your laptop or something like that. It's like a remote play thing. I don't know. I might find a way around it that way. But if I do Dynasty Warriors, then don't be surprised if there's no sound. But I will try to avoid that if possible because again, Koei's kind of done with that mess. I don't know why they mute the entire audio whenever you record. But yeah, there's possibly other stuff too, especially if I happen to get OBS working. So yeah, look forward to some streams coming up again. Like I said, it's not like I haven't done it before. It's just the fact that before in the past I've done it and not too many people saw it. So in this case, I will be doing it regardless of view count since people voted on it. But getting into Kamihime project, we have 8th anniversary for the global side. I do believe it's 9th anniversary for the Japanese side, but this video isn't about that. But starting off, when you log in at this point, there's going to be a roulette, so get your free pulls. I've already done one, as you can see right here, because if I go to Gacha, I got my pickup tab and roulette's here, but it doesn't have the icon. But there is quite a few things here to go over. First off, for those of you that have noticed, there is a new raid entirely, and I've already done it. I've already put a video up, but to go into full details with this raid, I would have to dig up some more info, but I do have a general gist of it. So first off, at the start of the fight, you're getting nuked pretty hard. I remember the base damage of it being 36,000 or 39,000 times 9 because it's 9 random hits. But keep in mind that's if you have no attack downs, no defense ups, no cuts, any of that type of stuff. This opening nuke will wipe out some of your teams if you are not prepared for it. So either expect to be in a raid where you jump in with somebody else and you just burst out the gate with a Yori team or a Hector team, and then just expect yourself to be taken out. Or you could be like me and have a lot of max HP, thanks to my weapon grids, in fact. But either way, just be prepared for that. Then after that first turn, it's a little bit more straightforward. You might get debuffed. You there's a few more triggers that I remember throughout the fight, but the main thing is that this boss will in fact keep it boosting themselves on damage dealt throughout the fight. So the faster you clear the fight, the better you'll go off on this one. And a huge thing that helps is getting 2 debuffs that lower the combo rate, which is that lower the rate of getting hit, which is Shade and Blind. But you can also lower combo rate if you want as well. But Shade and Blind gives a chance for attacks to miss. Then on top of that, if you happen to have access to it, evasion buffs on yourself too. But the boss does do a lot of normal attacks. In fact, if if the fight goes on long enough, the boss can actually do spread damage to everyone, and then on top of that, do like 25 hits of spread damage. So make sure to have yourself protected against normal attacks. Usually the way to do that is against Shade and or Blind, which easily is done with Perseus. I think Kamihime has it, and there's like you can get Blind from Mordred if you don't have Perseus for some reason. But yeah, there's quite a few cases of that, so definitely protect yourself throughout the fight. It's more of a damage race after you get past the opener. But there's also all the other stuff too. Leading into this, because we're talking about the new raid, they drop a specific item now, which is these pages right here. I've already got a book's worth, and then there's a chance you might just get the book outright. Good luck if that happens though. But also, I do believe they added this as well, the clear party tab as well, to see what teams other people are using. It gives you a decent idea. Just be careful with some of these teams like this one, like this Hector one that got 3 dark characters and a white character and a thunder character. That's only for people that know what they're doing, and you're probably using Diablos Unleashed for that setup. At least one copy. So, but there's also the fact that there's a new soul that's actually been added to the game, and I will go over that one. First off, I haven't even fully unlocked everybody just yet. I'm personally just slow about that. But the new soul is Xiang Yu, and you need 2 specific souls to unlock it. I'm unlocking Kamihime right now, so I'll be able to get her like a little bit later. But Xiang Yu, if I could pull up her kit. Yeah, here we go. First off, she's HP based because that goes into a lot of her kits, so that's why she gives like bonuses to HP. But the big thing is the fact that you have to consume HP in order to make her stronger. And when she uses her ability right here, her third ability, it shares her passive to other characters. So keep that in mind. Now then, starting off, she gets something called Warrior Spirits. You can call them souls, you can call them ghosts, but either way, they're like the token buff that some characters get, where they stack a specific stuff on themselves. Like in the case of, like, you've seen so many times I use White Osiris. White Osiris gets moon magic. That's her token buff. And also Yorimitsu gets ghosts as well. So there's that. But Xiang Yu, she gets Warrior Spirits. And depending on the HP you absorb from the entire team will determine the Warrior Spirits she gets. Now, the thing with this is the fact that you can use this ability 3 times per turn, and you can use it every turn. You don't necessarily want to do that, though. What you want to do is have as much high max HP as you can. If everybody on your team has 72,000 or more, then one use of her first ability will give you max Warrior Spirits, which is 10 in one shot. So you have to keep that in mind. So if you have like half that HP, then you're probably going to need to use this ability twice. Stuff like that. Now, once you do that, it enhances the rest of her kit, except for the second passive. The second passive is basically for trying to keep up on your HP or having more max HP and all that. But generally, her second ability, I remember the details for it. It is 5% for every Warrior Spirit she has. It is guaranteed to land. It is a stackable debuff. And on top of that too, it only counts up to 40%. So if you have 10 souls, you'll still land all 10 hits, but only up to 40% is counted. So if an enemy happens to like have a 10% defense buff, then you still get the other 10 counted. It'll offset that. But this is guaranteed to hit, and it'll land on all enemies, and it's stackable. So that's the big thing. But you can generally get the 40% in one shot if done right. So there's that. The bigger thing, though, is this third ability. You will give everybody 20 burst gauge, and it shares her first passive with the entire team. However, once this ability wears off, she loses all warrior spirits. Normally warrior spirits will last 3 turns, but once this ability is used, any warrior spirits, even if they still have duration left, will get used up. So that's the thing. And then on top of that too is the fact that this passive gives you a lot of bonuses based on the number of warrior spirits. To my knowledge, if you have 10 warrior spirits, you gain a trance drain, a burst heal. And trance drain is basically when you hit an enemy, that character makes everybody heal, not just themselves. It stacks with normal drain too. But if you have max warrior spirits, you have a trance drain, you have a burst heal, you lower the damage you take by 30%, which is like a cut, I do believe, but it stacks with other cuts. You have an attack buff of 100%, a defense buff of 100%, a triple rate of 100%, which means you're basically guaranteed to combo. It doesn't guarantee triple, though, given how combos work. It will up your normal attack soft caps by 100%, but there is a limit to that too. There's decays and all that. It will up your burst soft caps by 100%. Same thing with normal attack soft cap. It will also give you 200% burst damage, 200% normal attack damage, and 200% debuff resistance, or affliction resistance as they call it. So you're getting all of that with 10 warrior spirits. That alone is already quite insane. But remember that her third ability shares that with the team, so the entire team's getting buffed like that. If you know what you're doing, this character can actually be stronger than Hector. It will have to carry across a few turns because Hector's more for like damage in one turn and this is more over time, but she can be stronger than Hector. So keep that in mind. Now, if you are going to get her, my suggestion is to get the lance for her. Do not get the hammer unless your HP is super low, because the lance is just going to help her out with the damage and then gives her two warrior spirits at the start of the fight, so it helps you out. So that's something to know. But more things is also like added to it as well. I would show what you need to in order to get the S3 souls, but I don't have Kamihime yet. But more things that's been added. There's a lottery for all players. If you remember it like the last time they've done one, you basically do raids and all of that, get your tickets, trade those tickets for these different items listed right here. And you may want to pause the video, you may want to remember these prizes, or you may just want to check the in-game news tab. This will determine what you're trying to aim for. My suggestion, you're probably going to want to go for A through C. D isn't all that great because it says Dragonic Eye Shard. 3 shards isn't that much. If it was Dragonic Eyes, then it would be worth. The other stuff, you probably won't really care too much about because you can just grind that, especially the spear set. The spear set is just EXP orbs. But my suggestion, go for A through C. But keep in mind that if you do not get a prize off of that ticket, you're getting a half elixir instead, which is a consolation prize, which kind of sucks. But that's how it is. Now, for those that are spending too, they have added some package deals into the shop, so keep that in mind. There's 9,800 for like 5,000. You may end up getting that depending on what you're trying to spend on. There's this 120 for 120. The 3,000 for 3,000 is normally there. And then I didn't mean to click that too. But there's all this other normal stuff basically down here. But this is where things get a little bit more interesting because they have this gacha where you can do like a 3 pull for 500 star coins, and the SSR rate is at 15%, so you may want to try that. If you're spending, you're more than likely going to go for one of these 2 things right here that you see. You're guaranteed 10 SR or higher on this pool. So there is no R pools in this one, but the bigger thing is the fact that you're guaranteed a Generation 1 Machine Beast. That is the ones that where if you put them in sub slots, they act like a mini catastrophe add-on or a mini guardian add-on. At least the free guardians. So if you happen to get one and max them out to max limit break, then you'll have another 25% weapon skill effect on top of what else you may have. So pretty good to get. In my case, I have one of them, which is Thunder. But this is random, so if I happen to get this and get another Thunder, it's a kind of a waste for me. So keep that in mind. Like, it is indeed random. The less of these you have, the more beneficial this will be for you. So keep that on the back burner. But remember, it is 9,800 star coins. As for this, you got the Miracle Ticket, which has limited characters in there. My suggestion, get a limited character. Don't worry about the permanent ones. Like, I know there's Marie and Sophie. She's pretty good for Dark. I don't know if Osiris is in this. She's pretty good as well. The white version of Amon is pretty good. Dark Bow, Dark Frey. I don't know if Dark Soul's in there. Water Soul's definitely in there. She's also pretty good for some teams. There's a good amount of limited characters that you probably want to look into, so there's that. Then there's these usual things right here. I don't exactly know how much the grab bag is. Okay, it's 9,800. This grab bag, however, is Draconic Eye weapons. You may get a versatility weapon. So, keep that in mind. But there's a good chance you'll probably be going for either the Unknown Kamihime or maybe an SSR Dawn. There's those. But speaking of versatility weapons, as you notice, there's a weapon fest down here. Dark now has its versatility weapon as well. Again, versatility weapons are very good. They have 6 weapon skill effects. You do want them, even if it's not limit broken, because that is a very powerful boost to your entire team. They give basically Exceed, Elaborate, Technical, Critical, not Stinger, Critical, Assault, and Defender. All medium. And that's at a start. When you final break it, it increases the Assault and Defender to large. That is why this grid you see on screen has 109,000 for power. Because I have a few of those for white, and it's a very powerful weapon. It has a lot of good stats, and it has a lot of good effects. You do want a few of them on your main element. My suggestion is not to go past 3, though. Only some really ultra-specific setups would probably use 4, and even then, you're probably wasting a 4th one. But, also, new characters have been added too. These guys are limited. It is Alyssa and Win Diablos. Both of them are pretty good, but Alyssa's mainly the highlight for this because she is extremely good for a lot of ability damage teams, and on top of that, some of the other teams later down the line too, that's not even ability damage. So, remember that, but we do have a collab coming up. I do believe it's within the next month or 2. So, pick and choose on when you're trying to pull on that, because collab characters do not come back. I know I'm saving up for the collab character, that's why I'm looking at 18,000 jewels. I did give one shot for this banner, but I don't care past that. There will be another banner that has a Dark Satanachia and a Thunder Eve, which is also pretty good, but remember, they're limited, not collab. Limited comes back, usually after 6 months, but limited comes back. Collab characters at this point do not. There's no confirmed repeats on the collab, so remember that. And then there's also this too, but that's only if you're like having issues with the fire cave, or if you really want to just get one of the characters there. I don't have Parvati, so. But then the same old usual stuff with these. You got the tickets and all that too. But keep in mind that they do update this Luck Gacha, because Moira is actually a permanent character for white that they added recently. She's in the Luck Gacha. But speaking of gachas too, like I said, you go here in order to trade your tickets. As you can see, I have these. I'm going to basically just hold on to mine for a moment and then trade them all at once. And also keep in mind too that when you're pulling for some of this stuff as well, for like the new characters and all that, The pickup tickets might give you these, so I already have 70 of these. It's just an idea. And then they have these too for the accessory exchange things. There's really no point of these unless you're like really spending. I don't know why that's in the game. But there's also another raid event which happens to be going on alongside this new raid. So if you're going in and checking out the raid boss available, please keep an eye out for some stuff like this anonymous raid right here. Definitely try to smack it as much as possible because a lot of people are really focused on it. I'm not going to try to enter this one because it's almost dead and 11 people are there. But keep in mind that just as a heads up, if you are trying to unlock the S3 souls, you need one S1 soul and an S2 soul. You also need to get the 2 S1 souls to unlock the other S2 soul. So that means you're at this point unlocking 3 S1 souls, 3 different ones, and an S2 soul just to even try to get the S3. And then the S3 soul basically needs a lot of the higher raid materials. You need materials of every single raid except for the malicious raids that you're not trying to get the element of. So if I wanted to say get Xiang Yu on Thunder, I would have to do every single raid in the game, but the only malicious plus raid I would need is Thunder. Because I would have needed to get all the materials to unlock the other souls first, then go and get Xiang Yu. Now is the time to hit every single raid you see, if possible. And I've been doing that. You will need materials across the board. Period. So you definitely want to rack up on that stuff. As you can see, I've already got some of each of these books. And some of the pages for these books also drop in the higher rate to the Loki one. So remember that. But do this as much as you possibly can. Trust me on that. But anyways, that's all for this. Again, more will come soon. There's a chance I might try to solo the Loki fight because I think I'm more than ready for it because, like I said, this party is just insane. This party is just utterly insane. And it's the same case with my other light characters because, again, 3 versatility weapons. Like, 3 of these little versatility weapons do a huge number for you. And then if you happen to have, like, a large stinger to go with it, which water and dark can get a free one. Light, I had to, like, basically either get lucky or I had to pay for the monthly miracle ticket. But, if you get a large stinger to go with that versatility, you can basically do some large stinger. You can do the versatility. Then you can make sure you have, like, a large vigor. If you're trying to make a general purpose grid, you will probably get 3 versatility, 3 zodiac vigor, or 3 zodiac rebellion, depends on your team, and then try to get as many large stingers as you can get, and that will basically cover all your grids for that element. Now, if you want to get more specific and do even more damage, that's when you have to factor in, okay, you need a Labyrinth for this grid, Exceed for this grid, Tech for this grid, but general purpose grid for that. I cannot stress that enough. And remember, Dark has it now too, so the only ones that's waiting for it is Thunder and Wind. Wind is the last one to get it, though. So, Dark players, definitely go get your versatility. Dark is one of the highest damage dealing elements in the game, if not the highest. So, you definitely would get a huge spike from that versatility. It doesn't mean that the other elements are weak by comparison, it just means that they have a higher tendency to deal damage. So, in the Phantom raids, like the Loki one, they'll probably be the ones most likely to get MVP done right, so remember that. But, anyways, that's all for this. Bit of a long little video for all these updates, but they added a lot of stuff, honestly. And then on top of that, too, I've noticed they may have reworked the drops from the raids, because some stuff seems like it's popping up way more frequently. Like the materials for the Heavily Awakened characters, I noticed a lot more of those are showing up now. But anyways, that's all for this. More will come soon, and take care.